Hello and welcome to another Maplestory 2 video. It's been requested in my previous video when I'm gonna update my build for Berserker. So I'm gonna showcase you now, and I'm also in a guild now, which means I'll be able to try out the dummy. However, the dummy is gonna be kind of hard to, check out what your DPS is, because you might be hitting 3 enemies at the same time and so on. I'm probably gonna have to go through it or make another video when it comes to chaos raids, because then we get the chaos lobby or chaos raid lobby where you can practice your DPS over there. So something that changed throughout the days, I actually got some equipments. I upgraded a little bit. I decided to spend up my onyx and such, and now I got the +10 weapon. So this is a new weapon that I got. I recently got this. It has piercing 3.2%, total damage of 2.4%. The second stats isn't really that great. I would say if I could get the the godly weapon, it would be piercing and physical piercing on my weapon. But since I don't want to get carried anymore by doing any runs with all the people that has a +9, +10 weapon, I decided to upgrade myself, and hopefully it will go faster in farming. I can always make back all my stuff as long as I don't go ham on this weapon. But yeah, so the main focus, yes, you do want to upgrade your weapons to have increased damage. Armor and such is not that important at the moment, so don't bother with that. I got enough cape fragments. I got a shit cape, as you can see. I got ice damage and movement speed. I guess movement speed is okay, but I kind of wish I got some better stats. If you do want to look up on the stats of what each equipment can get, I linked it in the previous video, so check out those websites out. So on my bottom I got damage against boss. On my chest I got accuracy, because I don't want to miss too much. I swapped out my pendant though. My pendant didn't have piercing, and that's the key stats that you want to have for bosses. My previous pendant was an epic. It had more gear score. It gave me attack speed 3% and damage against boss by 2 or 3%. Even though it sounds good and shows really good stats on the paper, but I'd rather just have a piercing bonus on my accessory. So I got my old accessory, which was the savagery necklace with 2.5%. Now going off with helmet, I have 11 strength. I couldn't find any better ones. My earrings, I actually opened up new ones. So if you check out, I have a lot of earring fragments. You get a lot of them instead of capes or belts. But if you double click on them, it's gonna cost 500 mesos or 500k mesos to actually get RNG'd on what kind of stats you want to have. I did not get the best stats because I got the lowest piercing, 0.3%, but I did get melee damage for 4%, which is, I guess it's good for now. I can always farm the other dungeons, and that would be Beyond Link, for example. That one can get me a pendant, for example, and Rune Temple would give me earrings, for example. Not many people like to do them, but I could get the earrings from Nutaman to replace, so I don't have to spend 500k on opening up RNG boxes. Belt, likewise, I got belt. I think you can, if you're lucky enough, you can get a decent one. I got mine with piercing 0.8%, not much of a deal, better than having a green belt, for example. So my gloves has physical piercing. That's the main stat that you want to have on your gloves. I got physical piercing +3%, and I got 9% +9 physical resistance. Helpful for Balrog, for example. And on my ring, something I would recommend is, if you do crafting, handicraft, you can make capes, you can also make rings. So make sure to take a look at this whenever you can do this. It's pretty much accessory, like jewelry in every other games when you do handicrafts. And you do not want to get those faint or fading ones. You want to have the the red boxes that has only, you know, when it says savagery only. So that means you're actually getting the item itself that's permanent. Fading means it's a temporary item. So if you're lacking of certain gear score or stats, you can get the fading one, but I would recommend just going with the regular because it's permanent. So for my ring, I crafted it. I got the melee damage +2 and 0.3% piercing, quite low. I could craft more, but I'm saving my materials for, you know, in case I find something better in the future. And as for shoes, I kind of wish I had some movement speed over there. Always good to have movement speed, but I got magic resistance and accuracy, so that fills up my accuracy need. I have 86 accuracy. My recommendation was about 90-ish and up. My piercing with the housing buff, I got 17.5%, so that's pretty high for damage dealing, and physical is quite low, which is why I kind of wish I got the perfect godly greatsword with physical and regular piercing. As for everything else, I got 2% extra bonus damage on boss, and then total bonus damage is 2.4. Not really the best stats that I would like to have, but we do want to focus on accuracy piercing and physical piercing for now. As for build, I know it's been a very long video already, 6 minutes in, but yes, here's the level 60 build I decided to go with. I added additional stats or skill points into the right path. I removed a few points in Greatsword Mastery. I know it's better to have 2.4% extra, like in total this would be at 6.4% to increase your damage. But I did remove so I could have my bleeding proc every time I crit, but I also want to have Earthquake. So Earthquake is an off-global cooldown skill that you use every 60 seconds, and that's a pretty good damage, and I can showcase you when I leave it on over here. Let's see. It does 25k damage on initial hit, and then it procs 28k every tick. So that's pretty good with my weapon. I mean, it scales with your weapon damage, so having that free damage for every 60 seconds is really good on a stationary target. But if you don't care too much about the bleed and the earthquake, I would say stick with your Great Sword Mastery, max it out, and then the remaining 2 points would go to Blood Price. And this way you would be able to min-max your damage on Groundbreaker. The only thing that I reduced here is Bloodlust, for example. I didn't have enough points, even with the trophies being done with all the skill points. I didn't have enough to get Earthquake, so I removed 1 point from Bloodlust and spent it over here. So this is literally the level 60 build I decided to go with. A little bit more active skills now. We have Blood Price to buff ourselves, Earthquake to proc every 60 seconds. Bloodlust is the same. We do get 2% I think, or 4% less lifesteal, but that's fine. And then we still use our Death Spin and Groundbreaker for this build. As for Void Slash, my recommendation would be obviously remove Groundbreaker, add the rest of the points into Darkbreaker. I guess I can click and showcase. We'll put everything on the Void Slash, put everything on Darkbreaker, and then we have 1 extra point. I guess we'll go on Great Sword Mastery. If you do not want to spin, I guess we can just remove even more. Put the point into Great Sword Mastery, max out the Blood Price. You can sacrifice, for example, Bloodlust to put more on Blood Price, and this should be enough for your Void Slash build. So you have Blood Price max, Warrior Instinct, Darkbreaker, Void Slash, Great Sword Mastery. Those 5 skills are maxed. Your Bloodlust is slightly lower, and if you do not like to spam a lot of abilities, like I said, you can remove points over here, spend it on Bloodlust, for example, and what else can we spend on? I guess whatever that's remaining. let's just go with spin, because you sometimes do want to have the spin at some point. I'm not a master of Void Slash build, so do not or you can leave a comment about certain builds for Void Slash. It's not my type of playstyle, so I wouldn't go with it. So I have to excuse myself for not being a pro, Berserker with Void Slash, because I prefer playing with Groundbreaker. Yeah, I guess that's it for this build regarding level 60. If there's anything else that you guys need to know or want to ask about, for example, why I picked one earthquake, etc., it's because of you don't really need to increase the damage of it. It gains very little points in leveling up the earthquake. Likewise with Great Swordmaster, you only lose out on 2.4% if you remove the points over here, and I do not want to remove anything on Despin or Groundbreaker, because those are your useful main abilities for this build. But yeah, so it's been a long video. I am gonna showcase the DPS, so feel free to judge. We're gonna put it over here, slightly above our head, and we're gonna start the damage for 1 minute. So you can see right now it's 10k per spin now, which is really nice. And we're gonna start to proc everything that we have. Start to smack. Oh, I did miss my what's the skill called? My Bloodlust. So the unfair part here when you're parsing is that you're gonna be hitting all the other dummies, which is kind of hard to do, but it does give you an sort of accurate on a single target if you can manage to avoid doing that. The only dumb part is that whenever I need to use my Bloodlust, I have to actually look away or aim myself so that I don't hit the others. But roughly 5.5k, I guess, with this build. That's included with actually hitting the ads as well. So we can do it one more time. Let's reset it. Hopefully we can, let's see, this should be a good aim, and then do this. Oh, I actually have to practice a little bit here to not proc the other dummies. That's actually hitting. That's also hitting. There we go. Okay, so this should be able to work. Alright. Let's get it on. Don't want to make this video too long. And go. So standing at the edge of the fountain should be far enough for you to single target this. Not sure if the earthquake actually hit over there, but should be fine without the earthquake if we're going with the build, or if we're going with the parsing, because earthquake is what, a few hit ticks in. I'm not even sure anymore if we're gonna even reach 5 million, but yeah, I think the 5 million is the part where we actually hit multiple enemies. So this time it's 4 million, or 3.4 million. So we need to find a way to land the earthquake so it hits it as well, without hitting the second thingy. It's so hard. So this is the new spot, slightly on the edge, I guess, by the line over here, as you can see with my mouse. Maybe I should zoom in, but this should be enough radius to hit with every other skills that we have. Yeah, and then Earthquake should proc at that point. So once again, I do apologize for the long video. This is going to be the last parsing part with the Groundbreaker build, including Earthquake. So let's get it done. Did the mistake at the very beginning. Right, 30k per tick. Lifesteal, ground break, spin this. Ground break, spin, ground break. We're already at 2 million at 30 seconds. So I would say, yeah, roughly 3.5 million currently with this build, and the total DPS was about 55k, but the total damage is what we usually parse. So 3.5 million in 1 minute, that's pretty good. But for Devorak you need about, if we're looking at the close beta 2, the information regarding his total health, he had 45 million, I believe, 450 million. Yeah, 450 million. So each player actually has to do 4.5 million in total damage of 1 minute, if it's possible. So try to practice a little bit, get some gear, get some piercing, and hopefully you can beat 4.5 million in 1 minute. Currently I'm a little bit behind. I think we're probably gonna need to upgrade our weapon to plus 12, plus 13, who knows. But that's the goal. Right now I'm only using a plus 10 weapon, but yeah. Good luck with the builds. I know it's a little bit different. I know this video is a bit long, but if you do not like Earthquake, I would then recommend to just remove the points, add it to Greatsword Mastery, and max out Blood Price afterwards, if you can. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.